Hi class, today we're on section 4-3, Sales Tax Tip and Discount, Day 1, and I'm on notes page 8 in your binder. Now, this is something that we did learn last year in 7th grade, so it should mainly just be a review from what we did learn. So, when we are setting up a proportion to solve for sales, tax, tip, or discount, remember that the tax, tip, or discount, which is usually the part that we're looking for, so I'm going to put in parentheses, it's usually X over the total or what the original cost was, and then we put the percent over 100. Remember, percent always goes over 100. Now, let's look at the different types. With tax, we always add. Think the T looks like a plus sign, so we're going to add when we have tax. So if we read the problem, $75 pair of UGG boots with 5% sales tax. What is the amount of tax? And then it's asking what is the total price paid. So we are looking for two separate answers. Now we're going to use proportion because we're looking for tax. So we know that the boots total cost $75, so 75. And we know we have 5% sales tax, so 5% over 100. You could also think of it looking across. You have the total, which is 100% and $75, and then we have the sales tax, which is the 5, and the X. So you could think about how we used to label. You could have the tax over total, if that helps you with the labeling. Then you're going to cross multiply. I start with the X part first, so we have 100X is equal to 75 times 5 is 375. Divide by 100 on both sides to get X by itself. And when I do that, I'm left with X is equal to 3.75. Now, it says you must round all answers to the hundredths place. What that's saying is I'm going to have a dollar amount, whatever that may be, my decimal place, and I'm going to have two spaces after. So in this case, I do have my two spaces after, so I'm going to write the tax is equal to $3.75. So that's the first answer that I was looking for. It was asking for the amount of tax. So there's my first answer. But it's also asking what is the total price paid. When it's asking for total, with tax I add. So I start with the original amount, which is $75, plus my $3.75 for my tax. And when I add those together, I'm left with $78.75. It's already rounded to the hundredths place. There's two numbers after. So the total for my UGG boots is $78.75. So there is my second answer. So that's tax. Now let's look at tip. Remember, tip starts with a T, so we're going to add. A T looks like a plus sign. And it says dinner at Red Lobster was $65.13. If you leave a 22% tip, how much is the tip? What is the total price paid with tip? So first thing we need to do is we need to find the tip. We know that the dinner, 100% of the dinner was the $65.13. And we know a percent. So I'm going to set up my bars. Percent goes over 100. My total cost of my bill, which is $65.13, goes at the bottom. The part I don't know goes at the top. I don't know how much tip I'm going to leave. Cross multiply. I'm left with 100. X is equal to $65.13 times 22 gives me 1432.86. Divide by 100 to get X by itself. I'm left with X is equal to 14.3286. Now remember, I can only have 2 places after the decimal point for money because I'm trying to figure out what my tip is going to be, and tip is money. So 1, 2, I'm going to draw a bar. I'm looking at this 2. Does the 8 round the 2? In this case, the 8 does round the 2, so the tip is going to be $14, and 32 bumps from the 8 to 33 cents. So $14.33 is my tip, but I'm not done there. It's asking me what also is the total. So that was my first answer. My second answer, I need to figure out the total. Total, I add with tip. So I have $65.13 plus my tip, which was $14.33, gives me 30.46, and that means my total is equal to $30.46, and that problem is complete. I've answered both questions it had. Alright, let's look at the next one. The next problem is a discount problem. Discount is subtraction. It's the only ones that doesn't start with a T that looks like a plus sign. You can also hear the word dis. Dis says that S for subtract. So that's another way you can remember it. So a $55 set of headphones for 15% off. What is the amount of discount? So that's the first question it's asking. And then it's asking what is the total amount you will pay. So I'm going to set up a proportion just like I did before. Percent over 100, so 15 over 100. And I know the whole cost of the headphones is $55, but I don't know how much I'm getting off. The 15%, I don't know how much money that is. Cross multiply. 100x is equal to 55 times 15, gives me 825. Then divide by 100 on both sides. And I have x is equal to 8.25. So my discount then comes from this answer, and it's already rounded to money, so it's $8.25 of a discount. So that's the first answer, but I need to answer the second question. What is the total amount you will pay? Well, with discount you do subtraction. So I have $55 for my headphones minus my discount, which is $8.25, is equal to 46.75. Therefore, the total that I'm going to pay for the headphones is $46.75. So that answers my second question. Alright, so now that we've gone over simple tax, simple tip, and simple discount, let's work when we actually have a combination of the two. So for this problem, we're going to do the combination. We're going to subtract and then add, and we're going to talk about why we're going to do that in a second. So it says, over the weekend you saw a new Kindle Fire on sale for 15% off. The original price, which was $169, you bought the Kindle Fire on sale, but at checkout you still had to pay 5% sales tax. What is the total cost of the Kindle Fire? So I have two percentages, I have a whole amount of money, and it's asking me what is the total cost. Well, you need to look, what do the two percentages, what's happening? In the first one, I have 15% off, which in that case is a discount. So a 15% discount. In this one, I have 5% sales tax. So with the sales tax, I need to add. With a discount, I need to subtract. You have to think, which one would I do first? Do I want to pay tax on the amount of money before my discount? Well, no, I don't want to add money before I get my discount. I always want to do my discount first. So the way I like to do the combination ones is I like to draw a line and cut the box in half. And I like to put the discount on one side. And I know with discount I'm going to subtract. So I put a little subtraction sign with a circle around it. Then I'm going to do the tax. And with tax I add, that T looks like a plus sign. So I'm first going to start in the first column here. Start with the discount. Make your first proportion. Percent, 15% off over 100. I know my whole price is $169. Cross multiply. So I have 100x and 169 times 15 gives me 2535. Divide by 100 on both sides to get x by itself. And I'm left with x equals 25.35. Now think to yourself, what does that represent? Well, that actually represents the discount. So the discount is $25.35. But I don't want to know the discount. I want to know how much my total is after the discount and with the tax. So I need to subtract the discount from the total. So 169 minus $25.35. And I'm left with $143.65. Now that's not the answer. I still haven't done this side yet. That's just the amount it costs with the discount. Now we need to worry about our tax. It's going to be another proportion. The tax is 5% over 100. This 143 is the new price of my Kindle. So that is the new number that goes on the bottom. If you need to, draw an arrow to show yourself that it's getting plugged in there. Cross multiply. This is going to be the spot where you mess up most of the time. This is the spot where you messed up last year and then where the 8th graders usually mess up. So make sure you're careful that you're plugging in that new number. So I cross multiply, I get 100x, and 143.65 times 5 gives you 718.25. Divide by 100 on both sides to get x by itself. I'm left with x is equal to 7.1825. So the tax is, and I have to round it to money, $7 and 2 spaces. The 2 does not bump the 8 and 18 cents. With tax, I add, remember there's a little hint up there for you. So I'm going to actually take this amount here, 143.65 plus my tax, which is $7.18, and that will give me my total, which is $150.83. So this is how much my Kindle is going to cost, which is actually still less than what the original price was before it went on sale. Okay, these are going to just take practice. They will remove the cobwebs and you will remember from 7th grade, but it's just going to take a minute. So what I want you to do on your own now is I want you to work on the next page in your binder, and you can get checked by myself in class.